Welcome back, Arbor League, and today we are taking a look at Swampert in the Master League. We're using him in both an ABB and ABA style team with a rating of caca. It's not really, but like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content, and let's take a look at the team. First, we will be leading Metagross, ABB style, double water in the back, with the Fairy and Dragon protection in the front, Steel, Ho-Ho, Kyogre, and Groudon counters in the back. So for Palkia, Reshiram, Gyarados, and Garchomp in any kind of Dragon Tail or Dragon Breath user lead, we can stay in for a little bit, chip and dip, and then safe swap Swampert, and try to go for an Earthquake, and then hope to align with Gyarados later on. And then for Ho-Oh, safe swap Gary, try to bait out a Fairy type because there could be a potential Steel in the back that you want the Swampert for. So that's kind of the good thing with this team. It's ABA good against dragons and some steel types, so it's very flexible for pivoting. I haven't seen too many Zygardes as of yet. My ELO, it's around like 2300s or so. So for Kyogre lead, we safe swap Swampert, and it's kind of bad for the whole team. But we try to go for an Earthquake, and worst case Ontario, you get a shield, or if he lets it go, you get farm on Gyarados, and then you can 2-shield the back line. Now, Mewtwo is sort of a problem. The Psy strikes are resisted, but he's got Shadow Ball, so I usually play the ones out. Metagross does survive a Shadow Ball from a non-Shadow. Not very well, though. Mewtwo is defense for fighting, though, so there's probably going to be a Steel in the back, so you need Metagross and Swampert for that in the back. Swampert is good to safe swap into the Mewtwo as well. He can take one Psy strikes. You can probably build up to about 2 or 3 Hydro Cannons and at least get shields. And then Gyarados is your Mewtwo counter because of the crunch, the dark type on the Psychic. Then for Giratina, probably not going to see a lot of altered but more origins. You just have to sack swap Swampert. You're bad all around, but if there's Giratina in the front, there's probably a Charmer or Steel in the back. So you want to save Metagross for that. So you try to go for an Earthquake on Swampert and then probably save shields for Gyarados in the back. So getting into this first commentary here, Gyarados is the hard wall to Groudon. I know Swampert can take it pretty good, but the Fire Punches are resisted. The Precipice Blades, Swampert doesn't want to see. You probably can't take the second one. So we're going to stay in here with the Gyarados, just go for the crunches. Gyarados can take the Precipice Blades as you're about to see, but probably not, like, I would say 3 of them. So here it comes. That's 1. So 2 is going to be getting us pretty low. Fire Punches. 2 Fire Punches is probably like 1 Precipice Blades. So if you're in this match, it's probably best to go straight Fire Punch. They try to catch on Dragonite here, which really isn't a catch. This is, I don't know why they shielded that. I guess they were shielding a potential outrage, but we had revealed we had crunch. That wasn't going to do that much, so they needed the shield for Metagross here because they go ahead and throw the superpower. We've got 2 shields up against the dragon here, and because they threw a superpower, the next one is going to do less, but they actually go Claw, which is totally okay with me, and because they did that, I should have over-farmed. That's okay with me. This I undercharged this Meteor Mash so that I can get a bit more farm. I'm banking on they don't make it to another superpower. If they do, I'm banking on it. A lot of ifs here that I live, but I live the Dragon Claw and leave with a Meteor Mash. So we want to leave with energy because now we can come in and deal with this Groudon here. I know he wasn't out of move. We still don't know what's in the back, and there's a Gyarados, and it's not looking good, but it's good that we did keep a shield, because Swampert here is in kind of trouble. It would be a little bit worse if we had Waterfall, I think. So because at 1 turn versus 2 turn, we can sneak in a couple fast moves here. I'm going to try to just chip with as much Hydro Cannon damage as I can. I have to make a call here what Pokemon I'm going to come in with, so while I'm throwing these Hydro Cannons, I'm thinking, what's going to be better? Am I going to come in with Metagross? Probably Metagross because I have Dragon Tail and they have Dragon Breath, so the 1 turn you can sneak moves in. I might go down if I try to come in with Dragon Tail, and I don't think that 2 is going to KO. They might be able to snipe me before that. So I still have a shield. I'm going to come in with Metagross and try to get them to throw. I know they have back-to-back Aqua Tails, so try to get some Bullet Punch damage in here. Now they're low enough where I think 1 Dragon Tail might KO. They go full crunch, not even a tail, but they do make another move, and I think they should have farmed down because 1 turn versus 5 turn, they would have won, but because they threw, we shield and win. So up against this next match here, we've got Excadrill, which is another bad lead. Swampert can handle that, but so can Gyarados. We have to make a perfect catch, but we do not, and we're a scrub because everyone knows that every Excadrill throws on 7. So now we're going to be eating a bunch of rock slides here. Not the greatest, so now they realize that we're on Dragon Tail and not Waterfall, so they're staying in. We have to shield up this next rock slide. I at least wanted to get a shield back from them. There's no point in sacking the Gary here. This is sort of a difficult matchup. If they throw another one, we're going to let it go. But they swap into Dragonite, which is, again, not a terrible counter because we get to this crunch and hopefully either lower the defense, get a bunch of neutral damage off, and come back in with Metagross. Now they've got down into farm down range, and we're okay even if they throw superpower here. Coming in with Metagross here and saving that Swampert for Excadrill and whatever's in the back. So we're going to have to, again, make some tough calls here. They do throw the superpower, but they do not make another one. This is just the claw, but at the time, I thought it was going to be a superpower again. I was unsure of what was in the back. I didn't want to get farmed down by something else and a shield. Now we're down shields, but I'm pretty sure we can take out Excadrill, at least get it low with a Meteor Mash, but there's a Wincon that just swapped in a Chandelure, so this is not over. We can go into Swampert here and survive one drill run. We just have to get to back-to-back Hydro Cannons, one for each Pokemon, so I don't care that they catch. I actually undercharged this because we can survive one from Excadrill. I forgot how low it was, so I should have at least gotten a nice on that, because now we're going to have to eat a couple of drill runs here, and we're shieldless. So this is not looking good. But they go rock slide, so it must mean they either have Iron Head or they got scared and they were not approaching Scorching Sands. So now we have back-to-back Hydro Cannons, one for the Excadrill and one for the Chandelure. They would have to throw one more Incinerate to get to that Shadow Ball because they were at the Flame Charge. Swampert sweeping this time, taking the win. And for this next one, we are leading Swampert. I wasn't having very good luck with some sets the other day, so I switched the team up. Now we're leading Swamp because the problem I was having was if there was a Steel on the lead, the Steel takes out the Steel and then you have a Fairy in the back, so Togekiss becomes a problem. Giratina Origin is a problem. So if the opponent has one of those and anything in the wrong order, that makes alignment tricky. So something like Ho-Oh Double Fairy or opposing Gyarados are tough for this team. This way we are good against Steels up front and the Dragon Protection in the back, which is more typical in Master League. So it's just kind of like Fantasy Cup with a few allows in. So it's still ABB. We're just ABB offensively and ABA defensively. So now the Mewtwo comes in and we have a shield advantage. So I'd imagine I come back in with the Gyarados here because we do have that crunch. We survive one Psy Strike. But this is Shadow Mewtwo, so we're going to eat this on Swampert, actually. I think I was saving the Gyarados for something else in the back there. We're going to have to get to back-to-back Hydro Cannons here versus this Mewtwo. I threw at 4 just before he gets to 5 Psycho Cuts at his Psy Strike. He over-farms, so we get to get that second Hydro Cannon off and take this Mewtwo out. It's good because no Pokemon on our team really wants to see it. And we have the hard wall. Okay, that's why I was saving the Gyarados for the Groudon. So now we have 2-0 shields for whatever else is in the back. Totally okay with me. This Precipice Blades, we eat that, and we're going to just farm this down. This would be a better match with Waterfall, but Gary still clearly as day wins this with Dragon Tail or Dragon Breath. So we get the defense drop, and we're just going to go for that Aqua Tail right away. Preserve some health and some shields on the Gary. And the Mewtwo comes back in just in case that they got to another Psy Strike. But we got that Dragon Tail through and take that game. So this order is working a little better because now we see Ho-Oh on the lead. So we got the water versus the fire up front. They're probably going to build up and dip. So I predict that, and now there's a Kyogre, and that's a problem. So because we wanted to see the Kyogre in the lead, but at the very least, they gave up Switch. So now we can throw this Earthquake, get an advantage so that we can come in with Gary. So we always want an advantage over the opponent. So their switch clock is going to be up first, but at least we have shields because this Kyogre has Thunder. And that's why it was good to have a shield advantage because this next crunch will not KO. It will do a lot of neutral damage to Kyogre, but having shield advantage is great in this matchup. This was just a Surf, so I shield this up just in case it was the Thunder. I really want Switch here. Too bad that we got baited, but on the bright side, we can farm down, but they catch on to Tyranitar, not really a catch because the super effective Aqua Tail is coming through, and they're on Smackdown. So we're getting smacked down here. Can we reach the next Aqua Tail? Yes, we can. The problem is this doesn't KO, so I'm going to let Gyarados get farmed down. Totally okay with me. And we're going to have to make a catch. I'm going to let one of these Brutal Swings through, hoping that it isn't the Crunch. So it is just the Brutal Swing. We survived that. We're a scrub because we can't catch. And I don't know why there. Maybe I was just going to bank on Swampert, because there's just the Ho-Oh in the back. We don't have shields, but I needed some damage here. They can't make the back-to-back Brave Bird, so we see what's in the back. The Ho-Oh. This Hydro Cannon will not KO, but now that we're both down shields, I can throw these back-to-back. They don't get the back-to-back moves off, so it doesn't matter about that. Incinerate, and there's just the dead Kyogre, and they weren't out of move. I threw just in case, because that Waterfall would have won them the game. So Swampert coming in clutch for the game 3. On to the next one. We see Groudon in the lead. Perfect. Just keep him coming. So maybe we're kind of RPSing the game here. They swap into Rayquaza, and I was trying to swap. And now you've let some energy through. Totally okay with me, because it's all resisted up against Metagross. Do we get a debuff from the Breaking Swipe? We do not. So totally okay with me trying to go for that Meteor Mash. But they win CMP, so that's kind of the only downside, is that Metagross loses CMP. But it's good that it loses CMP up against things that are resisted. I wouldn't want to lose CMP up against like Ho-Ho, Kyogre, so they're still going to have to shield this. We never got a debuff, but this next Breaking Swipe I might want to shield just to preserve some health. I don't want to get farmed down. So do they get the debuff this time? Does not matter. Try to throw on some perfect timing there. I threw after 3. So this will be taking them out or getting the second shield. They do decide to shield up, and they do get the farm down. So this Metagross is, I think we're still on level 49. We haven't fully powered it up. Just it's really hard to find Beldum candies, and then even then it's hard to get XL candies. So hopefully with this new event having choices, lucky to get XL candies, hopefully we can make that happen. Taking Rayquaza out with a Hydro Cannon, and there's a Mewtwo in the back, and we hardwall Groudon. So the problem here is that these Precipice Blades will add up over time. We still resist it, but we can't farm all the way down. So I'm going to try to lower Groudon's defense here with the Crunch. We don't get it, but now we can farm it down. This next Precipice Blades will be getting us low, but since they're on Mud Shot, they're just going to go straight Fire Punch. Totally okay with me. This is still going to be another Fire Punch, even if it's Precipice Blades. These Mud Shots will not be farming us down. Can we make it? Yes, we can. All there is a Mewtwo left, and they're on Confusion. So a Confusion Mewtwo getting taken out by that Crunch, and we have a Hydro Cannon left on the Swampert. So Swampert closing strong. Once we put him in the front, he just sweeps the back line. So Swampert doing amazing for me, actually, here. Up against Dragonite, so this is what we mean by soft and hard counters in the back for the Dragons. I swap into Gyarados, because if you have Gyarados not on the lead, he's good as a safe swap. You can even flip some Togekiss matches if they don't shield. If they let you get to 4 or 5 Aqua Tails, you can flip switch with Gary. So if you have him, I have him best buddy, but I have Swampert as my buddy right now, so his CP is increased to level 51. Gyarados is still level 50. We're going to shield this up. We got that Dragon Tail through. And we flip switch with Gary. That Dragon Breath did not take us out. We're so lucky there. We were deep in the red. But now haven't left much farm for whatever else is coming in. Good thing about this team, all 3 of our Pokemon can handle Metagross. We can handle it in the mirror. It's kind of uncomfortable because it's a baiting game. But we can handle Swampert and Gyarados, water type, resisting the bullet punches. So we're going to come in here. I was thinking Gary or Metagross, but they've already gained a bunch of energy here. So even 1 Earthquake doesn't KO. This is Shadow, so they need 2 moves to KO. They go for the resisted Meteor Mash, and I'm just going to go straight Hydro Cannon because it's neutral. No point in baiting or going up to the Earthquake. We can gain a bunch of farm. And now Kyogre comes in, and we're low on the Swampert. Can we make it? Yes, we can. The problem is, are they going to let this through? I think this is one of the losses here. Yeah, because Metagross... Oh, they let it through! Okay. I don't even remember what happens here. I know we did really well, but I know I went 8-2, like I said on the thumbnail. So we might lose this one. So first serve coming through. What happens? I might have to, yeah, just fully shield and farm this down. So I don't know if they're going to make it to another serve. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they get farmed down. So what's happened here? Metagross gets farmed down and the opponent goes down with 2 shields. My goodness. So this team doing really well, putting Swampert in the lead. Way better than before. So played out the same way this time. And a Mewtwo comes out. But they come in pretty late. So now I can afford to bait. Mewtwo outpaces all 3 of these Pokemon. They don't shield, and I always hate that. But since you need 2 moves to KO Mewtwo anyways, this is a more uncomfortable match because now we're getting into the really low health range. We could get Psycho Cutted down, so I'm going to shield 1. And maybe I was thinking try to get to back-to-back Aqua Tails here at least, or get them a shield. You know, we take a shield ourselves, so maybe we get 1 or switch. Totally okay with me. We can come in with Metagross, and like I said, it's uncomfortable, but we can survive a Shadow Ball. Same on the Swampert. We can take 1 of any move. And this is a Purified Swampert as well, so it was a 98 back in the day. So I did a 98 Shadow, or must have been like a 13 at least, so we got Purified Hundo Swampert as well. Forgot to mention that earlier, but now the Dragonite comes back in. Just go straight superpower because we have no shields, but now there's an opposing Metagross and we have no shields. They have to call this or a shield. They have a shield. They can afford to shield, so they do, but we still got a Swampert in the back, so I have to leave with a bunch of energy here. Meteor Mash from this range will KO, so it's just a matter of outpacing. Do they get to the Earthquake first? We are at the Earthquake before they are, and again, leaving with energy advantageous in this match. Swampert with energy or shield advantage or any kind of advantage is deadly. So this might, yeah, be the loss, I think, because the Dragonite comes back in and we don't have that Metagross anymore. So that's goes back to what I was mentioning earlier with the steel on steel violence. When you have it both gone, then it just ends up being RPS of who has what in the back. So unfortunately, we have a flyer and we're not able to do anything here. Trying to make a comeback in the next match, we have Metagross, which is a positive lead, again, resisting everything, not the Earthquake, but they decide to swap, and we swap back into the Metagross. So the Metagross is the hard counter. The Claws kind of add up on Gyarados, and I guess arguably it would be better, meaning shield 1 and then farm down. You can kind of do the same here, back-to-back Meteor Mashes, and shield one of these superpowers. Sometimes, I think in the 2-2 shields, they try to farm you down to the point where a superpower would KO so that you do shield. Because if you throw the Claw right away, then we know it's a Claw and the superpower won't KO either. So I think maybe in that match where you try to use maybe shield 1 and then build up to back-to-back superpowers, Claw power, at least you get either 2 shields or take the Metagross down to where it's farmable for one of your other Pokemon in the back. So we're just going to get outpaced here. I'm totally okay with letting this go. I'm okay with getting more farm on Gary, or now that we have a shield advantage over Dragonite, let's see if we can make it to a Hydro Cannon. They were ahead on energy on us. Totally okay with me. We can let one of these through. We still don't know what's in the back, so I can afford to overfarm just a little bit. And now that the Dragonite is low, it is kind of glassy enough that this Hydro Cannon will KO, and there's an opposing Gyarados in the back. So chip and dip here. Throw this Earthquake. I know it's resisted, but at least we can get, again, any kind of advantage we have over Gyarados. Everything's going to be resisted, but we have the Dragon Tail here versus Waterfall. Again, another good match. If it was Dragon Breath, would be questionable, so that's why I usually throw the charge move on the way out. That way we can chip and dip. It depends right, when you want to save energy, but I know what was in the back here. We are also able to take care of this Metagross. We will have to shield the Meteor Mash, though, because it will be getting us slow. I don't want to get farmed down by the other ones. We have to build up to just over an Aqua Tail before they get to their next Meteor Mash. This might be coming close to KOing, if not one more Dragon Tail, but it does KO. Do we get to the move versus the Gyarados? Yes, we do, because they needed one crunch to take their Gyarados out and one for the Swampert, but we beat them in that race, and Gyarados closes this time, and we take that for 1. So, Swampert in the Master League. definitely anti-meta and can handle the steel types, including Dialga, Ho-Oh, and some very common picks for Master League and a lot of neutral matchups with shield advantage. Not completely outclassed by Kyogre, so it does lose CMP, not having the highest attack stat, but it can still perform at this league with the spammy moveset, and it's a cheap 10,000 Stardust for a second move, so a reasonably priced build for a reasonable results. And don't forget to check out the Discord. We can stream some sets, play some cards, or hang out and chat. See the insights into my videos and my other work, so come join our friendly, welcoming community. If you do enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn notifications on. It keeps me in the algorithm and lets you know when I post. And share the channel with your global friends, as I'm trying to grow the channel and want to be seen by a larger audience. There will be much more Pokemon Go and TCG content to come. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been ArborAndy. Keep your sticks on the ice, and I'll see you about in the next one.